Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1830 of What's You Up To Now, documenting the journey and kind of creating a video diary of what am I doing, what's working, what's not, as I transitioned originally from brick and mortar corporate world of business to online world of business. In 2017, I really hadn't done anything, I would say, compared to anyone else, nothing online until then. I had very limited social media presence. I had no understanding of how the internet and how the World Wide Web worked and how it could tie into helping us grow and build and supersize our businesses. And now, and even before I hopped on, I realized that the world has changed dramatically, and all of us, whether we're business owners or not, need some sort of an online presence. I can't imagine doing business with anyone if I hadn't first looked into or researched a little bit about them. And if I can't find anything about them, guess what? That's really, really suspect in this day and age, because there's so much information available via the World Wide Web. So today, a couple pieces of content. We're doing an annual challenge this year called the Get Your Goals Annual Challenge, where we're focusing on goals a little bit every day to get what we want, right? To get what you want, to get what I want, because that's what we're here for, right? We're here to experience this life as only we uniquely can, and to achieve and be and do and have whatever it is that feels good and right for us. So this year we're focusing on goals. And today we talked about, day before yesterday, we created our own goal setting framework, our own framework for dealing with goals. And yesterday we tested that framework. And today we're thinking about and capturing in whatever way works best for us. I use little notebooks to capture lessons learned, but the lessons that we learned from that framework. My favorite way to learn lessons or to capture lessons learned is, number one, to write them down. But the first thing is I need to ask myself questions about the situation or the experience that I had. Now, my experience, I have a couple questions around what I ask. I ask, what did I learn? What worked? What didn't work? And then how did I feel about the experience? Because my feelings always show me whether something works for me or not. If I have negative feelings about it, that part of the process doesn't work for me, and I need to tweak and change and improve it until I feel good, at least neutral or good about that part of the process. And I learned that the process I set up for myself, the framework, way too complicated, right? It's great for an annual review or an annual project or an annual look at goals and my legacy, lifelong big goals, but it's way too complicated, and it's way too much, and it's way overkill for the day-to-day challenge going forward, or even the monthly focus on each of the different areas and aspects of life in the life framework. It's just too much, right? So I want to boil it down to something simple, probably something simple like PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act, or the SOAP framework, the absolute now infamous SOAP framework, where we install it in our subconscious and it just automatically filters every situation, every experience we have through that framework on a subconscious level. And then if we need it to, it'll pop up to our conscious. When I'm faced with a change or a challenge, a setback, an obstacle, anything that doesn't work out the way I want it to, I automatically, subconsciously use the SOAP framework and apply the SOAP framework. I've been doing it for so long. Now it's just automatic. In 2020 and 2021, I taught it and practiced it every other month for a 30-day challenge. And then every single day I used it, to the point that it's just so automatic. I have to actually think hard about it when I'm applying it as part of one of the challenges. I don't have to think hard about it. I just have to pull it into my conscious and say, okay, S stands for story, current story, desired story, creates a gap. Now the rest of the SOAP framework is going to fill that gap. Now, normally I don't have to think about it consciously because my subconscious is just always automatically applying it and giving me the answer, the best results, the thing I need to do right now, or the way I need to look at things in order to get my bearings, which was our idiom for Supersize Your Business today. I actually love that idiom, that expression. I've got lots of experience with how do we know where we are in relation to other things, situations, geographically. I told the story about how when I traveled for corporate America, I used to always go a day early, because that was before GPS, before the internet, and I wanted to get my bearings, feel comfortable in the environment that I was in. And so we all have ways of doing that. So what are your lessons learned about what works for you? How do you get your bearings? How do you like to learn about something new? Is it reading? Is it writing? Is it taking a course is now, there's courses for everything nowadays, right? There didn't even used to be courses for all the things that they're available nowadays. So embrace the internet. As much as we might get frustrated by certain things technologically, embrace the things that we can use to make our life better, that can make the world a better place. So those are the 2 pieces of content that I created today. Heading into, it's Friday, so we're heading into another weekend. I've got some work to do for the annual challenge in terms of simplifying and creating a framework that we can use every day, because everybody isn't going to create their own framework. And we already talked about 15 different frameworks. So if somebody wants to just choose one of those to go forward for the rest of the challenge, that works too. But I think over the course of the year, we will all test and tweak and figure out what works best for us. We'll get our bearings, and we will be goal masters and experts way before the end of the year, but by the end of the year for sure. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Bye.